Hello and welcome to Creating for Grace. Today we're going to make this goldfish card. I made it a happy birthday, but of course you can use any sentiment that you want. I've already prepped a lot of the stuff to make it go faster. So we did the pool party paper and we cut it 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 because I wanted it to stand upright. And I used, for the background, watercolor wash with pool party ink. And then I had another piece here that I just did the opposite way. Dimensions for everything will be on the blog so that you'll have it. The happy birthday sentiment that I used actually came from the Talented Trio, and I just happened to like that font, but of course you can use any sentiment or font that you want. So that is what I did. So on this one, whenever we have a ribbon that wraps around, I like to put my adhesive right along the edges. And so you can see that there's a piece that's here, and I cut it about 1 inch longer. So I believe I did this one about 5 inches. And I did it just under halfway up. And I already have the adhesive on there, so it's going to help that to stay. And then I always flip the back over and I add adhesive when I had the ribbon. And then I center that onto the front of the card. Anytime you have a really pretty decorative ribbon, something like this, there's a way to get that to always be on top. So this happens to be Calypso Coral for the ribbon, and I use seam binding. This one's cut about 4 inches. And so I start a bow just like that, and then I leave it open, right like that. Then I take the decorative piece that I want to float on top, and I put it right through that loop. And then it's a matter of playing with it, with your length. And just tightening that up. And then that'll sit nicely just like that. So we have this decorative piece that we have going the opposite way with that watercolor wash. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put adhesive right around the ends. And then I have Calypso Coral. And all I did was make it 1/4 inch bigger all the way around, so it gives it a nice frame. And since the fish are actually going to be 3-dimensional, I left this straight onto the card rather than popping it up with dimension. And so we're just going to center that about there. And I always take ribbon scissors and give those some nice pretty edges, especially when you're dealing with the seam binding. When you're pulling on it, the ends can fray, and so you want to leave it looking nice. Something just like that. Then we have our fish here, and this is a brand new set from the catalog. It's Friends and Flowers, and you can do all sorts of animal shapes with it. So there's a bunch of ones that are displayed in there. And the punch that they brought back is the one that went with the poinsettia over the holiday season. And that is this one. So it's got all the shapes that you need to do these punches. So we used the fish one, and then also used this one to do all the fins. And I'll show you how we did that. So I've got a fish already cut out to save some time. And then if we flip it over, it would help if you left a little extra on the end to line that up, but you can see that that lines up really well right there. And punch that out. So we've got our 2 fish base that are right here. And then I've got the little fins. So each one has the 2 back fins, and then I layered up a top fin here just because I wanted something to pop up. And so if you center that right inside there, just like that. We'll do that a couple more times. So now we have all of our fins. And then what I did is I took two and I cut them exactly in half. And those are going to be like the tail portions of our fish. And so I added some adhesive to the back and I flipped it over, and you can see that there's a little white border around. And so what I tried to do is match that up just like that, and then I flipped him back over and I matched up that border there. Then I added some more adhesive all the way around the back, and then your first fish is swimming this way, so we've got him more kind of at an even angle. Then our second fish, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add some adhesive to the back. And the reason I'm doing this is because if you just do it like this, there's not much adhesive for it to stick to, so you really have to add some more for the second fin to stay in place. And then just like that, now he has pretty fins, and we're going to have him swimming down. And on this fin, this is going to be his center one. So I cut it in half, but then all I did was I took it and I just tried to bring it to a point. Still leaving the orange on the edge. So just like that. And then in order to get him to pop up, I took dimensionals, ours, and I actually cut them in half so that they would be skinny, and I put them right towards the end of the fin. Press that down nicely. You're going to curve that to give him a little ball up, and then when you're placing him, you want to place it kind of where his fin is already. So just like that. We're going to take our other dimensional. We're going to put it towards the end of the fin, not the part that touches the body. You're going to get that to stay just by giving it a nice curve. And then same thing, you're going to kind of place him where his original fin was, just like that. And then to give the shimmer on there, we actually used, in the new kettle, we have the Poinsettia, and I used the iridescent one, not the gold. And so what I did is I painted each of his fins, and I don't know how well this is going to show up on the video, but it really gives it it's a real subtle shimmer. It's almost like a brighter shimmer paper. So I don't know if you can see that or not. And then for his eyes, I took some of our dazzling little rhinestones here. I took his adhesive off. Let's see if we can get one that actually has adhesive. So just like that. And just like that. And that's it. So we have our two fish card, our original and the one that we just did. And don't forget the Poinsettia is brand new. And also our Poinsettia punch. And then the Friends and Flowers makes all kinds of amazing animals. So it's a really fun set and I love it. If you have any questions or you want the measurements or details, they'll be on my blog. It's creatingforgrace.com, and thank you so much.